Hi, good morning to all. Today we will see the introduction to metrology. I am Hemadri, working as assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering in RMK College of Engineering and Technology. Today we can discuss about various measuring instruments and metrology characteristics of measuring instruments. First we will see the types of measuring instruments. We have different types of measuring instruments. We can see one by one. By using these instruments we can perform the measurement. So it is used in almost all industries and all places. They can use this type of instruments. They will carry out the measurement. First, deflection and null type instrument. By using this deflection and null type, here we can balance the both the sides by using this pointer. So you want to measure any unknown quantity, first you will keep it in one side and another side you will keep the weight, so you can balance, then you can take these items. So it is called equivalent opposing effect to nullify the physical effect caused by the quantity. So this is called deflection and null type instruments. This pointer it will be deflected. Suppose any one side the weight is very high, it will deflect towards that side. So again another side you can add the weight, then it will come it in straight position. Next, analog and digital instruments. Here by using these instruments we can measure the values directly by using analog and digital instruments. Various physical variables in terms of it is continuous or stepless variations, all these variations it will be showing in the uh, reading. So this is called analog and digital instruments. Example, automobile. Any automobile you will take, you can see the speed of the vehicle directly in the speedometer. Next, active and passive instruments. Here what is meant by active instruments? In active instruments it will be required some source of auxiliary power. So example, here we can see active instrument. In this fuel storage tank we have kept one float. We want to see the depth of this fuel in the storage tank. We will connect with the voltmeter, then only here we can measure the depth of the fuel in the tank. So this is called active instruments. This will be required some type of auxiliary power. Next thing, passive instruments. Here what is meant by passive means the measuring instruments, it is purely it will measure the quantity, directly it will shows the reading. The output from the measuring instruments, directly it will give the reading. This is called passive instrument. Next, automatic and manually operated instruments. Here in manually operated it will require some human operator or it will require some mechanism. So anyone we want to measure something, some person is needed to do the measurement. In automatic there is no need of human operator, directly it will shows the reading here. So that is the difference between manual type and automatic type. Next, contacting and non-contacting instruments. Here contacting instruments means the instrument it will be touch with the measuring medium. So this is called contacting type instrument. In non-contacting type, the instrument is not going to touch the measurement medium. It will have some distance. So directly it will shows the reading in the dial. Example, in temperature measurement, this thing we will keep it under the tongue, we will shows the body temperature. But here this non-contacting type, you will keep it in some distance from your body. It will shows the temperature of your body. So we can, there is no need of contact with the measuring medium. Nowadays, these non-contacting type instruments are mm, developing, and then it is using in so many places. Next, absolute and secondary instruments. Here, absolute instruments means by using these instruments, we can measure the various physical constants and their deflection. So these instruments need not to be calibrated. They do not need any comparison with other standard instruments. These absolute instruments we are considered as a standard instruments. So tangent galvanometer and absolute electrometer. So these two things we are considered as a standard one. So no need of comparing with any other instruments. Next, secondary instruments. Here, by using these instruments, we can measure the output in terms of some quantity. So this quantity to be measured is directly shown the reading by deflection of these instruments. Example, ammeter, voltmeter, ampere hour meter, watt meter, etc. These instruments are coming under secondary instruments. These instruments we want to calibrate with the absolute instruments. Regularly we can do the calibration, then only we can get the accurate results. In absolute instruments, they are using in laboratories as standardized instruments, where these secondary instruments and all we are using in our everyday work. So this is the difference between absolute and secondary instruments. Next, intelligent instruments. Here in intelligent instruments, this we are using the microprocessors are incorporated with the measuring instruments. So that's why we can call this as a intelligent instruments. Nowadays, so many types of variety types of instruments are developed. They are using in currently in industries. Next thing, metrology characteristics of measuring instruments. We can see the some of the major characteristics of measuring instruments. In that we can see one by one. First thing is range of measurement. What is meant by range? This, it will indicate the on which we can take the measurements in the instruments. So any instrument we can take, example vernier caliper, there they will mention the range of the instrument. We have different types of ranges available in the instruments. In vernier caliper, 0 to 50 mm, 0 to 150 mm, 0 to 300 mm, like that we have a variety types of instruments are available to do the measurement. That is called range, means it indicates values between which measurements were made on the given instruments. It is the range. What is the lowest measurement? What is the highest measurement? In between that range, we can use the instrument. Next thing is repeatability. Here, what is meant by repeatability means we can perform the measurement again. We are repeating the same measurement in same environment, but we have to get the same readings, but it is not possible. It may be variations in the indications of readings. So that is called repeatability. But normally we can repeat the experiment. We have to get the same readings, then there is no error in the instrument and there is no error in the person who is making measurement. Next, reproducibility. Here it will shows the consistent results when an experiment is repeated. Same readings it will be reproducing, that is called reproducibility. Understand the difference between repeatability and reproducibility. Repeatability means it is the variations of indications in repeated measurements of same dimension. We will get the variations in the repeatingly we are doing the experiment. But in reproducibility, the results are getting consistently, we can repeat the same results. That is called reproducibility. Next thing is accuracy. Accuracy means how we will define the accuracy. It is closeness of the instrument output through the true value of the measured quantity. That is called accuracy. Next thing is precision. Precision, how we will define, it is the ability of the instrument to reproduce a certain set of readings within a given accuracy. That is called precision. We can see the examples, we will understand easily. Next we can see the sensitivity. What is meant by sensitivity? It is the relationship between a change in the output reading for a given change of input. This is called sensitivity. The relationship may be linear or non-linear. See, sometimes sensitivity is often known as scale factor or instrument magnification. We can give it as some scale factor. We can see that the large sensitivity will indicate a large movement of the indicator for a small input change. Whenever we will change a little bit, we can change the input, we can get the large movement of the indicator. We'll see some example, then we can understand easily. In a force load cell, in a load cell we can apply the force, we can get the output. Here input versus output. Here slope is approximately 5 watts per kilonewton. So input I am applying. Finally, this is the magnification factor. Here I am getting the sensitivity K equal to 5 watts per kilonewton. So the relationship between input and output is linear. Next thing is readability. What is meant by readability? Here how we will define. Readability is defined as the ease with which readings may be taken with an instrument. Easily we can perform the experiment. That is called readability. Sometimes readability difficulties may often occur due to parallax error, and then observer is nothing the position of a pointer on a calibrated scale. Sometimes it will occur in some places. You can see here in readability, here you can take this example. Always read volume from the bottom of the Mencius. The Mencius is the curved surface of a liquid in a narrow cylindrical container. So this is called exact reading. Correct line of volume. This is the low reading. This is the high reading. Again here we can see water surface. This is concave surface. This is convex surface. So always here we can perform the experiment, we can take the measurement exactly in a curved surface. Whenever the line is coinciding with the curved line, that exact line we have to take the reading. Next, accuracy. Here in accuracy, already we have seen the definition. This is our target value. Whenever we will do the experiment, the measurement values are very close to the target value or true value, then error it will be very low. So we can take a, what is meant by error means it is the difference between measured value and the true value. We can call it as a error. Normally accuracy is the quality of conformity. Next, here we can see some example of accuracy. Who's more accurate when measuring a book that has a true length of 17 centimeter. This is our true length. We can do the experiment and then we can repeat the experiment in 4 times. We will get all these values. Some person A, he repeated the experiment. He has gotten the 17, 16, 18, 15. Another person B, he performed the experiment. He got the values 15.5, 15, 15.2, 15.3. What is the more accurate value? Who is whether A or B? I think true value is 17. So you can guess one time. I will give some time. Anyone will guess the answer and then you tell me. 17 is the true value. Now accurate result is, I think, A. Why means all the values are very nearer to the 17. Here B, some person B, he has done the experiment. The values he got as very far from the 17. So here more accurate value is A. Next, precision. Precision means we can repeat the experiment all the times. We will get the values very closeness to each other. That is called precision. For example, how long is this block? We can do the measurement, but here it is in between the 4 and 5. So we have to take the exact value. Here another example. Same, who is more precise when measuring the same 17 centimeter book? 17 centimeter book is there. Some person A, he was done the experiment in 4 times. He got the value 17, 16, 18, 15. Another person B, he was done the experiment. He got the values. So which is more precise? Precise means I told you all the time whenever he repeated the experiment, he has to get the closeness of the readings. So here B is the more precise. Y means 15.5, 15, 15.2, 15.3. But in A, it is very far. The readings are not in close to each other. Now we can see accuracy versus precision. This is our target value or true value. I have done the experiment in 6 times. I got the values. All the values are very nearer to the target and then closeness to the true value. So it is high accuracy and then high precise. Why means all the measurements are very closeness to each and other. Next, low accuracy and high precision. Here the measurement values are very far from the true value. So this is called low accuracy. And then all the measurements values are close to each other. So this is called high precision. Next thing is, see, this is our true value. All the measured values are closeness to the true value. So this is high accuracy. But the values are very far from each one other, so it is having low precise or low precision. See, this is our true value. All the measurements are very, very far, low accuracy. And then repeated values also, it is not close to each other. So this is called low precision. See, this is high accuracy and high precision. This is low accuracy and low precision. This is low accuracy, high precision, high accuracy and low precision. I think you understand clearly about accuracy versus precision. So far we have discussed about what is the various types of instruments we are using currently, and then what are all the major metrology characteristics. In that, some of the main parameters we have discussed so far: range, and then readability, repeatability, reproducibility, and then accuracy and precision. So I will close the session. Thank you.